Imagine a world where the first language a child learns is not their mother tongue, but the language of screens and gadgets. Welcome to the world of Generation Alpha. In this brave new world, we find children born into an era where screens are as omnipresent as the air we breathe. They are known as Generation Alpha, or as some may prefer, the iPad kids. From the moment they open their eyes, they are greeted with a flurry of pixels, animations, and touch-responsive interfaces. This is their playground, this is their classroom, this is their universe. Before they can even utter their first words, they are fluent in the language of technology. Swipes, pinches and taps are their alphabets. The digital world is their second home, and screens are their windows to it. They are growing up in a world where Siri and Alexa are as familiar as family members, where playdates are often replaced with online gaming sessions, and where bedtime stories come in the form of animated e-books. And as they navigate this digital landscape, their young minds are being shaped and influenced in ways we are only beginning to understand. Screens are not just tools of entertainment and education for these children. They are their companions, their teachers, their comforters. They shape their worldview, mold their behaviors, and influence their emotional responses. But what does it mean to grow up in such a world? How does the omnipresence of screens affect their development, their relationships, their understanding of the world? How do they perceive reality when their reality is so deeply intertwined with the virtual? These are the questions we need to ask, the conversations we need to have. For the impact of this screen-filled world on Generation Alpha is profound and far-reaching. It is shaping them, and through them, it is shaping the future. And as we delve deeper into the world of Generation Alpha, it's important to remember that this isn't about blaming technology. It's about understanding its impact, its implications, and how we can guide this generation to navigate their digital world responsibly and empathetically. As the first generation to grow up with iPads in their hands, the impact of this screen-filled world on Generation Alpha is profound and far-reaching. But what happens when screens become the primary source of entertainment, education, and social interaction for these children? As we delve deeper into the world of Generation Alpha, the so-called iPad kids, we find ourselves faced with a host of issues that arise from excessive screen time. It's not just about the squinting eyes and the hunched backs, but the psychological implications are much more profound and far-reaching. These children, born and bred in the era of screens and gadgets, are increasingly showing signs of attention deficits, anxiety and depression. The constant bombardment of information and the incessant need to keep up with the digital world is taking a toll on their tender minds. It's like they are running a never-ending marathon with no finish line in sight. The exposure to violent or inappropriate content online is another concern. This exposure can desensitize these young minds, leading to a lack of empathy and emotional detachment. When violence becomes just another video clip, the gravity of real-life consequences is lost. But it's not just about the individual child. The ripple effect of this phenomenon is far-reaching. We are risking a generation that may grow with a skewed perception of reality, where screens take precedence over human interaction. This could exacerbate societal issues like loneliness and widen the chasm of social inequality. The loss of essential social and emotional skills is another significant fallout of this digital immersion. Interpersonal communication, empathy, conflict resolution, skills that are honed through face-to-face interactions are being replaced by emojis and text messages. The nuances of human interaction, the joy of shared laughter, the comfort of a reassuring hug, are all at risk of being lost in the digital whirlwind. In essence, we are looking at a generation that may be technologically advanced, but could be emotionally stunted. The consequences of this digital immersion can be dire and pose a significant threat to the future of our society. It's a conundrum that needs immediate attention and collective action. We need to strike a balance between leveraging technology for growth and development, and preserving the essence of human connection. After all, we are humans first, digital entities later. The situation seems bleak, but is it irreversible? Certainly not. We've identified the problems, now let's shed some light on the solutions. By implementing certain strategies, We can help our iPad kids thrive in the digital world without compromising their mental health or social skills. Firstly, we need to set boundaries. Limiting screen time is essential. This doesn't mean shutting off their devices completely, but rather encouraging a balance between the digital and the physical world. Encourage them to play outside, engage in sports, or take up a hobby that doesn't involve a screen. Secondly, we must monitor and curate the content they're exposed to online. It's our responsibility to ensure that the content aligns with our family values and is age-appropriate. There are various tools and applications available that can help us in this endeavor. Teaching digital literacy is another crucial step. We need to educate our children on how to navigate the digital landscape responsibly. They should be taught to critically evaluate the content they consume online and understand the difference between real and virtual interactions. Promoting empathy and emotional intelligence is equally important. We need to emphasize the importance of understanding emotions, both their own and others, and caring for people around them. Digital interactions should not replace the human touch, the warmth of a smile, or the comfort of a hug. Fostering human connection should be a priority. Face-to-face interactions and building meaningful relationships should take precedence over virtual friendships. Let's not forget the joy of a shared laugh, the thrill of a high five, or the bond of a shared secret. This isn't a task for parents alone. It requires a collaborative effort from educators, policymakers, and society as a whole. Schools need to incorporate digital literacy and empathy education into their curriculum. Policymakers need to enforce stricter regulations on digital content for children. As a society, we must promote the importance of human connection and emotional well-being over digital engagement. The iPad kids phenomenon isn't an issue we can ignore. It's a societal challenge that we must face head-on. But let's not forget, every problem has a solution, and this one is no exception. It's a challenge, yes, but one that we're fully capable of overcoming if we take the right steps. With these measures, we can help Generation Alpha navigate the digital landscape responsibly and foster a healthy relationship with technology. Let's work together to ensure our children grow up to be empathetic, resilient individuals, well-equipped to thrive in this increasingly digital world. After all, they are not just iPad kids, they are our future, and it's our responsibility to guide them towards a bright and balanced tomorrow. The future of our society rests in the hands of Generation Alpha, but the responsibility to guide them lies with us. It is our duty as parents, educators, policymakers, and members of society to ensure that this generation grows up with the necessary skills to thrive in this increasingly digital world. Excessive screen time, while a pressing issue, is not an insurmountable one. By setting boundaries, we can strike a balance between digital engagement and real-world experiences. Remember, it is not about completely eliminating screen time, but about ensuring it is spent wisely and productively. Encourage outdoor activities, promote physical play, and let's not forget the sheer joy of reading a physical book. Monitoring and curating content is equally important. With the vast sea of information available online, it's crucial to ensure that what our children consume aligns with our family values and is age-appropriate. Let's not shy away from using parental controls and other digital tools at our disposal. Teaching digital literacy goes hand in hand with this. It's about helping our children navigate the digital landscape responsibly, understand the permanence of their online actions, and critically evaluate the content they encounter. This is not just about safety, but about fostering an informed and discerning generation. Promoting empathy and emotional intelligence is perhaps the most significant task we face. In a world where screens often replace face-to-face interactions, we must emphasize the importance of understanding emotions, caring for others, and maintaining meaningful relationships. This is how we combat emotional detachment and nurture a generation that is empathetic and socially adept. This is a collaborative effort. Let's involve everyone in addressing the issue and create an environment conducive to the healthy development of Generation Alpha. This is not a blame game, but a call to collective action. By implementing these solutions, we can mitigate the adverse effects of excessive screen time and nurture a generation that is resilient, empathetic, and ready to face the challenges of the digital age. So let's not wait for tomorrow. The time to act is now. For the sake of our children, for the sake of our society, let's work together to shape a brighter future for Generation Alpha.